afternoon, everyone, and welcome to one of RVN's still newer television shows, What the Why with Barbara Ann. Our show features conversations with diverse leaders from all walks of life about why they do what they do and how they figured things out. So whether you happen to be feeling sick and tired of being sick and tired, or maybe you feel stuck and want to get unstuck either in your life or relationship or business, all of our guests have something in common with you. They felt similarly at some point in their life. And today's guest is one of them. Engagement intern at Purpose-Filled Solutions and Evolutions LLC, which is my company. And along with me, Ariel made her debut on RVN Television back in July 2021 when we announced the official launch of the company. Ariel is actually going to be graduating on June 22nd, which is only 2 days from now. She is a National Honor Society recipient. She's an award-winning poet, and you're actually going to get to hear her poem after the commercial break. She is a social restaurant review influencer, and the graduation that she will be having in 2 days is actually, she's graduating from Bayonne High School in New Jersey. She has many likes and interests, and one of the reasons why she's here today is because she has conquered seemingly impossible odds to choose a different path for herself and succeed where so many others might have given up. Her journey is inspirational, and it's only just beginning. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Ariel Rankin.
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have
I'm not
you.
behind the scenes peeking.
That's true, because you've been behind the scenes for several episodes, and you've been really helpful. And in about a week, instead of being the administrative and engagement intern for Purpose-Filled Solutions and Evolutions, you will be the administrative and engagement staff for Purpose-Filled Solutions. You're going to be joining the team after you finish school. Now, of course, little Ariel, and actually there's going to be a picture of not so little Ariel along with her mom, but little Ariel probably didn't imagine that she'd be sitting here. In fact, if anything, little Ariel probably hoped she would never be sitting here in front of the television cameras. But as you know, since we've worked together for the past year, the first question we ask all of our guests is, we know where you are right now, but what did you want to be when you were growing up?
That is an interesting question because I changed my mind a lot. So first I wanted to be a teacher because my grandma was a teacher, my sister's a teacher, and I especially liked math, and ironically they were math teachers, and I was like, you know, maybe I want to be a math teacher, I'm good at it. Then I changed my mind, and I was like, I want to be a professor because I wanted to one-up them. But then I changed my mind again, and my mom started developing her back issues, and I was like, I'm going to be a physical therapist because she loved my back massages so much. But, you know, she was my mom, so of course she probably exaggerated a little bit. And then, you know, then she got diagnosed a year ago with bipolar, and that's when before she got diagnosed, I was thinking about psychology, but then once it finally got set in stone, I was like, yep, that is what I want to be. I want to be a psychologist.
Okay, and that's what you're looking at in terms of your career, and you're exploring, actually, let me reframe that. You're not exploring colleges. There are some colleges that are actively hounding you, but you've decided after everything that's happened in the past couple of years to take a gap year, just kind of work on yourself a little bit and get ready. And so you've been through a lot. It hasn't been easy. You mentioned your mom's diagnosis. And that has led to some really sad things. To the extent that you're comfortable, can you share with our audience? Because there's a lot of people out there that can probably relate to some of what you and your family have been through.
Well, you know, the pandemic started, and you know, everyone was trapped inside, and my mom was a social butterfly. She loved being outside, loved going to the park, loved entertaining others with her singing. And so, you know, like most energetic people. She couldn't be surrounded by people, and so that really affected her a lot. And then she got diagnosed with bipolar, and she struggled with that for a long time, and everything we would possibly do just wasn't working, and it's about to be 3 months without her.
Yeah. And when you say everything, I mean, your parents, your dad and your mom would have been together 27 years.
Yep.
And she'd had issues before, but they weren't diagnosed.
Yeah.
And just so our viewers know, I got to know your mom. Your mom and I developed a friendship, and she was truly one of the most beautiful souls that I've ever met. And even through her challenges, she cared so much about her children and Ariel and graduating. And your dad, in spite of so much misinformation, so many misconceptions, he stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I kind of am leaning into this question, but who would you say are the most influential people in your life that have gotten you this far?
Definitely my parents. My mom, I always say to people, even if they didn't meet her, I'd always say she'd be the first one to jump up and down with joy. Oh my God. Because that's just who she was. She loved to be, happy for everything that I do and everything. And my dad is too. He'd always be there. I'm so proud of you. I knew you could do it. And, they really helped me get through stuff.
Yeah. And they went through it. You mentioned, it was not easy. But they didn't. One of the things, you're going to get to hear a poem that Ariel wrote, an award-winning poem. And even though things weren't necessarily easy, no matter what was going on, they tried to make it seem like everything was the best it could be for you. But, growing up in Bayonne, in public housing, beautiful view though.
Yep.
I mean, they have this amazing view of New York City.
Yep, the dock.
The dock and the water. But, growing up in public housing and some of the things that you dealt with in school, and how your potential was underestimated. Why don't you share with our viewers one of the things, people will say, I don't get mad a lot, right? But you had some interesting guidance as an honor student.
Yeah, so when you get to high school, you take these surveys about what, your personality and, interests would be, good in for a job. And so I took the survey and, it wasn't thinking much about it. And one of the choices I got was coat room attendant.
Yeah. Now keep in mind, this young woman's in honors math, honors Spanish too, I believe also Spanish 4. And so you got coat room attendant as a suitable career. I was like, what, not even in charge of the coat room? You've got coat room attendant. What are some of the other brilliant things that they said that you were suited for as a career?
Pretty sure it was like assistant, like secretary or something.
Yeah, that's right. You weren't even like an actual lead secretary.
I was assistant.
Assistant. Oh, veterinary assistant.
Yeah.
I think was on that list.
Just all assistants or attendants.
Oh, funeral assistant.
Yes.
She wasn't even going to be a funeral attendant.
Wasn't going to be a mortician. Was going to be an assistant.
I mean, and these are the types of tests that are often given to students, especially in urban environments.
Yeah.
Just kind of predetermining for them what their potential could be. And you had enough self-esteem to say, no way.
Yeah, no.
So now the other thing I talked about, I know you've gone back and forth between math and psychology. Let's talk about your love of math, because it's one I can't empathize with.
Yeah, I just love math. Freshman year, took Algebra 1. I loved it so much. then the pandemic hit, and so sophomore year I was in Algebra 2, loved it. Wasn't the best because it was virtual, but it was good enough. Actually, no, it was geometry, which was terrible, but I won't even get into that. Then junior year is when I took Algebra 2, and then now, and I also took probability and statistics, which was really good, because long and behold, I obviously need it now. And then now I'm taking pre-calc. And after figuring out that I'm not going to use it at all, still taking it.
But you're still good at it. You still love it.
I'm still good at it. I still can help others. So, hey, I'm still doing something with it.
And with the probability and statistics, you also then went and you took a college level course in that as well.
Yeah.
So, believe it or not, as you've heard me say over and over again to all the other guests that we host, it's time for a break.
Woo.
So after the break, we'll come back and we're going to hear more from Ms. Rankin, soon to be high school graduate and Honor Society inductee, about what she's done to get to this point in her life and what her plans are going forward.
My name is Ariel Rankin. I am from Bayonne High School, and the title of my poem is Celebration of My Dad. Although he's not famous, he is famous in my heart. Without a high school diploma, he is very smart. A young black man who dropped out of high school to take care of his dying parents. They may not be here, but I know they'd be proud grandparents. With no degree and bad handwriting, he would never stop fighting. Even with little education, he got a job and started working for someone named Bob. He soon met my mother, and my brother and I were created, even if I was a little debated. Even when we were low on money, the sky was always sunny. With my mom becoming sick, he was always her sidekick. Never did he contemplate leaving, because he always kept on believing. When life felt like it was crumbling down, never did he show a frown. Now he is a proud black man because I am about to graduate high school. I bet his younger self would have found it cool. He taught us that our goals are never out of reach and to never forget about freedom of speech. So I thank my dad for all he has done because my story has only just begun.
Okay. Welcome back. What you just heard during the break was the poem that Ariel wrote this year for Black History Month. And it was interesting because at first she was a little bit apprehensive, but that poem placed second out of 6,000 students in her high school for Black History Month, and was the only poem that won that was not on a traditional Black History Month figure. How did you decide to pick your dad?
Well, it's very interesting. So when the contest was going on, I was here, and I got to watch the first ever episode of What the Why, which you should obviously watch. And Lisa was talking about the victor and victim complex, and what she had to say that day really inspired me, because I kept telling myself, I'm not going to do it, I know it's an assignment, I'm not going to do it, it's not worth it. And after hearing all the lovely things she had to say, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. And so I looked at the paper. I saw that for the Donald Byrd Foundation, that the poem had to be, like for example, it had to be about an African American. And I knew everyone was going to write about Martin Luther King or Rosa Parks or, one of the ones that always gets mentioned. And so I decided to get out the box and write about my dad.
And you placed second out of 6,000 students in your school. And of course, one of the first people I did was tell Lisa, she's referring to Lisa Hillerin, which was the very first episode of What the Why, which is still available on demand, as are all the other episodes. And she was so excited because that's what we're all about. You have a little phrase you like to say whenever anybody asks you why you stick around and want to work with Purpose-Filled.
Patent pending, but the phrase is, once purpose-filled, always purpose-filled.
Because once you've found your purpose, there's kind of no going back.
Yep.
though, where so many other young people in your school, and you've seen it. I mean, even the other day we were watching a parade and you recognized one of the girls during the Juneteenth parade threw up a gang sign. There's so many different paths you could have chosen. How did you find the courage to choose the path you're on?
Well, you know, I didn't have that many people growing up to help me. But, you know, you see people walking around and you see teachers and you see how well they're doing and you just look at them like, man, I want to be like that. And once I met you, you know, because I'm with your son, you know, I was surrounded by other inspirational people. And so they really helped me shape to where I am right now.
Aww, thank you. Just so you guys know, when I first met her 4 years ago, it was love at first sight. I was like, okay, you know, you kind of have to hope that things work out, but we have our own relationship and it's been fantastic. What's one thing you wish you had known going into high school that you would recommend to another young person who might be in similar circumstances as you, who's getting ready to enter high school?
Probably that it's going to be hard. Because you start off high school, even if you graduate with people from 8th grade, that doesn't mean you're going to stay friends. So, you know, you have to navigate making friends, navigate keeping up with your social life if you even have one, because I sure didn't. Keep up with your grades, make sure, you know, you're staying on top of everything. So just go into it knowing that it's going to be hard, because going into it thinking it's going to be easy does not help.
Okay. And then also knowing that you can get through it.
Yeah.
And you're being modest, because listen, you did drama, you did some dance in there. I mean, it's not like you didn't do anything. I mean, you didn't get inducted into the National Honor Society. You were on student council.
Yeah, you know.
And how long have you been on student council?
Since 8th grade.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so there's definitely things that you can do that help you along the way as well. In terms of if you could do anything in the world, no matter what the money involved, whatever the cost was, what would you do?
Ironically, growing up, I did not go to roller coasters. I did not go to amusement parks. So probably the one thing I would do is go to an amusement park and just go on the tallest roller coaster even though I had the fear of heights. And I would just go on it. And if I puke, I puke.
You're just going to take that leap.
Yep.
This from the person who I remember was a little bit nervous about being at the top of Cadillac Mountain.
That was terrifying.
Yeah, when you're in the highest elevation on the East Coast and you're afraid of heights, yeah, it can be a little bit terrifying. What advice would you give to someone who has someone in their life who is struggling with something like bipolar disorder?
You know, I would tell them to, help them out. Because, there's going to be people that, have no clue what that is, have no clue what they're going through. Because, the symptoms, people don't know them. People don't know why someone's so energetic or why someone's so, to themselves. So just be with them and, just help them through it. Because they have no one else other than you. So just help them through it and make sure that if someone questions, why they're doing the things they're doing, to make sure that they're aware, hey, she has this is why she acts this way.
Mm-hmm. And just be kind.
Yeah.
Because all of us are going through something. And people who are struggling with mental health, which I believe is 1/3.
Yeah, it's very common nowadays.
Yeah, people are finally recognizing it for what it is.
Especially with the pandemic and not being able to go out anywhere.
Yeah, it really focused the spotlight. And so, well, I know you're going to be not surprised by the next one, but we're out of time. Our time's already up. So thank you so much for taking time out of your graduation week, because she's got all kinds of stuff going on this week. I mean, literally, they've got a big event planned to keep everybody together after graduation and stuff like that. And so thank you for sharing and being very honest about some of the things that your family's experienced. That was just the beginning.
Yeah, like I said in my poem, my story has only just begun.
Only just begun. So the best way to connect with Ariel is actually through the Purpose-Filled website, and our information is posted at the end. In about a week or so, she'll be controlling the majority of our social media. And I should point out, when they show the company logo, Ariel actually designed the company logo. So she's integral to the startup and operations of our company. Regarding future episodes, our guests next week, we have two. Maritza Ramundi Petrosky and Paula Figueroa Vega. They're the co-founders of a company called the MAPA Collaborative. Their company offers expert-based advice for improved company performance. Sounds a little familiar, huh? By helping them create strategies, optimize operations, and create a roadmap for their professional goals. I'm not entirely sure about our plans for the July 4th holiday, so I'm not going to say what will or will not be airing that day. But after the July 4th holiday, we have some additional exciting guests coming in July, including Christine Frake. She's an integrative health and wellness coach at the Healthful Body, and then someone who's near and dear to my heart as well, Sensei Stefano Cianelli of Tsuruki Martial Arts LLC, which is a member of the International Kenshikai Okinawan Goju-Ryu Goju-Jitsu Federation. And I know I'm butchering that, and I'm going to hear about it when I go to black belt class on Saturday or Sunday. So anyway, suffice to say, you really do not want to miss any of our upcoming shows as our guests come up and speak with you about their journeys and tell you all about how they figured out their why. As a reminder, What the Why airs on Mondays at 3:30 p.m. as well as Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. It's also available on demand. So please remember, whether you're looking to make changes in your life or career, no matter how big or small, please join us again for more inspirational and informative guests like my youngest leader to date, but one of the most amazing leaders to come, Ariel Rankin, and hear about how they made changes and overcame some of the biggest fears and obstacles anyone could face to find their purpose and live it.